Welcome to class 8 students. This is the continuation part of the chapter ecosystem. In my previous video, I discussed with you about the topic of food chain, and I have gave you a brief idea on what is food web. Okay, so I've told you that food web is basically a network of interconnected food chains, and in reality the food web is more prominent or more found than that of food chains. Okay, so let's talk about food web in details. Let's read from the book. Most consumers have more than one source of food. Frog eat caterpillars beside grasshoppers, snakes eat rabbits as well as lizards, mice and rats. Rats are also eaten by hawks. Thus, a plant or animal may be a part of several food chains. Thus, several food chains are interconnected to form a food web. So since different animals have derive their nutrition from different other sources, that may be plants or animals, thus causing an interconnected food web, which is a network of different food chains. Okay, now you will get a diagrammatic representation of the food web in your book, this one. Okay, so if you just go through it, you will understand. And next we come to the topic of flow of energy. So when one organism eats any other organism, what happens? Energy is transferred from the organism which is being eaten to the organism which eats that other organism. Okay, so as only green plants, which are the producers, can trap the energy from the sun. So which one is the ultimate source of energy for us? The sun is the ultimate source of energy, because the sun provides the sunlight or the light energy, which is being trapped by the green plants, and then they use that energy from the sun to produce food, and on those green plants different other animals depend. Okay, so as only the green plants, which are the producers, can trap energy from the sun, all food chains start with plants. So you might notice this, that all food chains are starting from the green plants. Okay, the solar energy is transferred through food chain. So the absolute source of energy, the most important source of energy is the sunlight. Okay, so go to the next page. Green plants convert solar energy into the chemical energy present in food. Some energy gets stored in plants while the rest is used up by them. When plants are eaten by herbivores, the energy stored in them is transferred to the herbivores. So the green plants, right? Green plants are eaten by the herbivores. So whatever energy the plants have by producing food, once they have trapped the sunlight, is being transferred to the herbivores. But is the full amount of energy that the plants have is transferred? No, only 10% of the energy of the plant. Suppose the plant is producing 100 units of energy, so only 10% of this 100 units of energy produced by the plants will be transferred to the herbivores. So the herbivores will be getting 10 units of energy. Okay, so this is how, when the herbivore will be eaten by the carnivore, again only 10% of this 10 units will be transferred to the carnivore. That means the carnivore will get 1 unit of energy. So in this way, energy is decreasing as the food chain is progressing. Okay, when plants are eaten by herbivores, the energy stored in them is transferred to the herbivores. Okay, again herbivores use some of the energy, so it uses about 90% of the energy, and only 10% is moved forward towards the carnivore. Okay, Herbivores use some of the energy for their activities and store a part of it in their body. This stored energy is further transferred to carnivores when they eat the herbivores. Thus, as one organism eats the other, look at this flow chart, eats the other, energy passes on from the producers to the herbivores and then to the carnivores. You will see that amount of energy that is transferred from one animal to the another decreases at each level. So here the plant was producing, the total amount of energy was 100 units produced by the plant, suppose, okay, and then only 10% of the total energy produced by the plant is transferred to the herbivores, which is only 10 units, means 10% of 100 units of energy is only 10 units, and again only 10% is transferred to the carnivore and 90% is being used by the herbivore itself. So the carnivore is getting only 1 unit of energy, so the amount of energy is decreasing, as you can see. Okay, next go to the box right beside that paragraph. The heading of the box is unidirectional flow of energy. The flow of energy from the producers to consumers is always in one direction. So the plants are being eaten by the herbivores and herbivores are being eaten by the carnivore. So the energy is going this way. You will never see that the carnivore is eaten by the herbivore and the herbivore is eaten by the green plants. You will never see that. Okay, so green plants, they trap the solar energy and then they produce chemical energy in the form of glucose, and thus food is being transferred from one trophic level to the next. So energy flow is always unidirectional, that is in one direction. According to scientists, only 10% of the energy, the name of the scientist is Lindemann. According to the scientist, only 10% of the energy stored by the producers is passed on to the primary consumers. The secondary consumer who eats the primary consumer absorbs only 10% of its energy. Therefore, most food chains never go higher than secondary or tertiary consumers. So, you will never see any food chain or a food pyramid having more than 4 to 5 levels or 4 to 5 organisms involved in that food chain, because higher means higher the longer the food chain, the lesser amount of energy will be available for the last or the top carnivore. Okay, so in that case the carnivore, the top carnivore will not be having enough food energy, right? So the amount of energy which the green plants will produce, that is limited, and in each trophic level it is being reduced, that is only 10% of the energy produced by the previous organism or that the previous organism have, only 10% is transferred to the next level, and thus the amount of energy is decreasing. And this theory was given by the scientist Lindemann, and this theory is known as the 10% law. Okay, next, moving on to the next topic, which is trophic levels and pyramids of numbers. Okay, this I have already discussed with you previously what trophic levels are, so let's just go through it once again. So the trophic levels are the various steps representing organisms in a food chain at which transfer of food and energy takes place. Okay, so I previously told you the trophic levels are those, each of the levels where each organism in a food chain or in a food pyramid resides. Okay, now the trophic levels are of various, means they have various levels. The producers, means the first trophic level, second trophic level, who resides at the second and third trophic level, all these things we have to discuss, and we will continue that in the next video. Thank you.